What's up, everyone? Today we're diving into one of the most inspiring redemption stories in wrestling history, Hangman Adam Page. This isn't just about wrestling, it's about life, about self-doubt, about overcoming failure, and finally proving to yourself that you are good enough. If you've ever felt like you weren't capable of achieving something great, this story is for you. So let's break it down. How did Hangman Page go from rock bottom to AEW World Champion? And how can you apply that journey to your own life? Let's get into it. The fall, when everything went wrong. From the very beginning, Hangman Page was supposed to be the future of AEW. When the company launched, he was handpicked to be in the first ever AEW World Championship match. This was his moment, his opportunity to prove he belonged at the top. And he lost. Chris Jericho defeated him, and just like that, the dream was over. The pressure was too much. The self-doubt crept in. While his friends in the Elite, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, were shining, Hangman felt like dead weight. He tried to keep up, but deep down, he felt like he didn't belong. The pressure, the expectations, it all became too much. He distanced himself from the Elite, started drinking more, and pushed away the people who cared about him. And when you start to believe you're a failure, you become one. But just when it seemed like Hangman was completely alone, that's when they showed up. The Dark Order, the power of belief. Enter the Dark Order, a group of misfits, underdogs, and guys nobody took seriously. Sounds familiar, right? At first, Hangman didn't take them seriously either. But while he saw himself as a loser, they saw something special in him. They didn't pressure him. They didn't demand anything from him. They just believed in him. And sometimes that's all you need. One person, or in this case, a group, to tell you, hey, you're good enough. You can do this. Slowly, Hangman started to believe in himself again. He still had doubts, he still had demons, but he wasn't fighting alone anymore. The road to redemption. With the Dark Order behind him, Hangman started winning again. He gained confidence, he climbed the rankings, he became a fan favorite, but there was one final obstacle: Kenny Omega. Kenny had become AEW World Champion. The same Kenny who was once Hangman's friend, now standing at the top while Hangman was still trying to find his way. The same Kenny who had once teamed with Hangman to win Tag Team Gold, only to leave him behind. This was it, the final test. Could Hangman finally silence the doubt? Could he prove, once and for all, that he belonged? The answer came at Full Gear 2021. The climax. Full Gear 2021, November 13th, 2021. Hangman Page versus Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship. This wasn't just a wrestling match. This was a battle for everything Hangman had fought for. For 25 minutes, Hangman gave it everything he had. Omega threw V-triggers, tiger drivers, everything in his arsenal. But Hangman refused to stay down. And then in the final moments, when it all came down to one last move, the Young Bucks were at ringside. The same friends who had doubted him, who had left him behind. And what did they do? They nodded. They gave him their approval. Hangman hit the buckshot lariat. 1, 2, 3. And just like that, the kid who thought he wasn't good enough became AEW World Champion. And when it was all over, the Dark Order, the guys who had always believed in him, came to the ring and lifted him up. This wasn't just a title win. This was proof that Hangman had been good enough all along. What this means for you. So what's the takeaway here? Failure doesn't mean the end. Hangman lost his first world title shot, but he didn't give up. Neither should you. You don't have to do it alone. Find your support system, the people who push you forward. Self-doubt is normal, but don't let it stop you. Hangman questioned himself at every step, but he kept going. Look, life will knock you down. You'll fail. You'll doubt yourself. But just like Hangman, you've got to keep going. Because one day, when you finally reach the top, when you finally have your moment, you'll look back and realize that you were always good enough. You just had to believe it. So when life hits you hard, be like Hangman.